So, when you realize life happens for you and not to you, and you actually have the ability to overcome being bullied, you can overcome an unhealthy addiction, insecurities, a tough spot in life, and getting over a broken up relationship. When you can overcome all of life's struggles, and I'm sure you have at some point, maybe even multiple times, you realize you're a lot tougher than you think, and you're not crediting yourself enough. I was bullied majority of my childhood, being overweight, discriminated a lot for being part of the ethnic minority group, a scared kid locking myself in my school bathroom stall so no one could bother me, rejected by 14 different schools, terrible family situation. I don't know about you, you probably had it worse. But all that we've been through was the perfect training ground for what life is preparing us for. Your adversity is the advantage you have over anybody else. Everybody else. Nobody had it the way you did. And look, you're still here. Do me a small favor real quick, and maybe you're going through something right now, but reflect back in your life in all the times when you had an obstacle thrown at you, when life just gives you an unpleasant, distasteful lesson or puts you in the corner up against the wall, where you feel like there's no hope of things getting better. And it's tough because you might feel like no one understands. And I'm empathetic to that, but there's always other people, having it far worse than you, having no roof over their heads, the homeless, struggling to know when they're going to have their next meal. So it's important to know that you should still be grateful, although it's hard to look at it that way because maybe you had all your money stolen, or maybe you were cheated on, maybe you lost a loved one. So many things in life, and I'm super empathetic to it. The ultimate problem is that the world doesn't really care. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But if you were at a job interview and you threw out some of your shortcomings, they probably wouldn't say yes to you. They might be touched, they might sympathize, but the universe isn't always going to bend into your will. Sometimes you're going to give up something to get something. You can't control the macro environment, but the good thing is you can control your micro environment. Your thoughts, your perception, your way of thinking. Just as Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and ancient Stoic philosopher, says, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. In other words, everything depends on how you interpret it. But I understand most people don't necessarily believe in philosophy, like it's just this archaic way of thinking that doesn't play into modern day life when life throws its struggles at you, and that's fine. Maybe life is just getting worse and worse as you get older and you realize growing up in life isn't what you imagined as a kid. As a kid, there wasn't much pressure. You weren't necessarily expected to be anything great. You weren't pressured to getting a diploma yet. You weren't pressured to do anything extraordinary out in the world. Well, because you were a kid, right? It's sort of a bland existence little children live in. And when you look at little children, on balance, they're generally pretty happy because they're really immersed into the environment and in the moment without any thought of how it should be, given their personal preferences and desires. And as we get older, they say, knowledge influences happiness. So the older you get, the more you learn, the more you want, the more you desire, the more you beat yourself up to it, because you realize it's not as easy as you think. So slowly, the smile fades away. The more conclusions you make, the less alive you become. But what's referred to as what other people would say, knowledge or intellect, it's not knowledge, it's conclusions. Conclusions that you're drawing about everything. A big mistake is that people think we have a lot of time. And you can look at it like that if you want. You should treasure all the time you have. But we're dying every bit at a time, right? The Big Bang happened 13 billion years ago. The sun lasts about 8 billion years. We're around 70, 80, maybe 100 years if we're lucky. Tomorrow, an accident could happen. Tomorrow isn't always guaranteed. In 3 generations, no one will truly know you, maybe just your name, so we're barely here. When asked, what's the biggest mistake we make in life? Buddha says, the biggest mistake is you think you have more time. Time is free, but it's priceless. And once it's lost, you can never get it back. The truth is, our time here is limited, and I know we all know that conceptually, but if you truly understand that life is fleeting every second and minute of the day, would you spend a single moment in a pointless argument? Would you spend a single moment worrying about what someone you probably don't even like thought about you? No. If you truly understand this, life is just about perspective. Life is hard, so you have to pick your hard. You have to choose what you're willing to struggle for. Pick your battles. Some people don't pick their struggles. They don't really have a strong desire to improve themselves. They don't push themselves, whether it's at the gym or in their career. So they don't get to experience that organic push, that organic conflict that's natural to us. Because a lot of success is learned by failure or making mistakes. So you know what they do? They find people to pick on and pick on them, judge them, bully them, leave mean comments, so they feel superior, so they feel good about themselves. We have to be empathetic and compassionate about the insecure trait, because they are the ones suffering inside, not you. So the secret to your success and overcoming adversity is, which one of the hard are you willing to tolerate? Being broke is hard. Becoming wealthy is hard. Being overweight is hard. Losing weight is hard. Being in a relationship is hard. Being single and lonely is hard. You have to choose your hard. If you're listening to this right now, I hope you get the message in this video. If you want to connect with me, I'm not available in any other social media platforms right now, but if you want, you can give this channel a subscribe so you don't miss out on any content. I fully appreciate you, and I appreciate you for sticking around. Till then, peace and love.
The defenses are strong. More and more creatures face us. Does he know she follows?
Even I cannot tell.